Been a long day. Ready for action.
What's that supposed to mean?
What's supposed to mean?
What, you're ready for action? I don't
Yeah,
believe
man.
it.
I'm super ready. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't put this in the headline. Dude, did you hear Aaron Rodgers retired?
You don't really expect me to believe that, do you?
April Fools!
Dude, what is you... Really? You trying to get me? You trying to get me on NFL news prank, bro? I saw some
April
crazy stuff
Fools! Gotcha!
today. You didn't get you know. Oh, you got me. Oh my gosh. Oh, you got me. Oh,
Yep. Got you good, man.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Dude, mate. You know what? Honestly, maybe I wish. I don't know. I got my thoughts on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
My thoughts have been ever changing about that, and I tell you, ugh,
Yeah. Well,
it's exhausting. Is what it is. He's not even on the team yet, and it's already exhausting.
welcome.
What do you mean, welcome? We're gonna win games, though. That's the difference.
I mean, sure, but
Sure,
he's
what?
Aaron Rodgers. He's Aaron Rodgers. Like,
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame.
when you have George Pickens, Aaron Rodgers on the same team, it's like Colin Cowherd
Yeah,
said.
but
What do you
we
want,
have-
a rock
yeah.
band? What are the Steelers?
Yeah, but we at least have decent ownership. Your ownership's trash.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, but
so
like
is Aaron
nothing.
Rodgers.
I mean, look, dude. He's better than Mason Rudolph. That's just true. That's a true statement.
Well, yeah. Well, before we dive deeper into this, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 22. The March Madness Final Four is set. Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf are hanging out. Are they dating?
Are they though? What? They're not dating. It's nice. They're
That's
friends,
what you
man.
were saying.
I didn't say they were dating. I said they were throwing like passes around. They ain't dating.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
if they were dating, DK Metcalf is the top. Aaron Rodgers 100% at bottom.
yeah. Oh no! I
We know
flung the
this.
rice
We know
everywhere.
this. Oh my gosh! All right, hold on. Where's
Well, I'm
where's the
equipped
title,
with some
dude?
halal chicken tikka masala over rice with a little side salad. I want to kind of mix my salad into my food, but
Uh,
I don't know if it's meant to be that way.
it's definitely not meant to be that way.
You sure?
100%. Why do you think when they ask out for a side at a restaurant, they say soup or salad? And like, you really gonna mix a soup with anything?
You know what? Well, you're not gonna mix a soup with anything. They don't put the
Yeah, so
soup in
why-
the same container as
Yeah.
what you're
So
doing.
then why do that
what
with
you're
salad
eating.
though? So then why do that with salad?
Well, I mean, they put it in the same container as what I'm eating, so it has my gears turning. You know.
Yeah, but that's bad juju.
Also, I don't think it's bad juju.
Trying to mix salad with something?
Yeah.
Just like make the salad with it already in it. Plus, normally salad comes by itself sometimes anyway. Like when you get a side of super salad, it comes out first.
Look, man.
It's like the precursor.
One
You
thing.
eat it.
For so long, I thought that they were asking me if I wanted a super salad.
Dude, no, you're not. Really?
Yeah.
Why are there like multiple people that thought you were ordering a super salad?
You're like a big salad.
What?
And they always make sure to say soup first.
That
This
is
was a
true.
plot to have.
So what? Make you order? Well, honestly, if you want people eating
I'll take a
healthier,
super salad.
if you want people eating healthier in America, then you probably should order a super salad. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, a lot of
that's-
Americans need a super salad.
Yeah, exactly. This was all a plot. This was all a plot to get people to eat healthier, and it's not working.
It's definitely
Surprise.
not.
I mean, could you imagine if it was like, man, come on, let's be, come on, let's all lock in, let's get this working.
For real. I miss Michelle Obama.
Well, it's not like she's not dead.
Well, yeah, I know.
She's chilling. She's fine, dude. She's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
She's just having it. I think she's glad to be out of there, to be honest.
yeah.
Anyway. Um anyway, where do we start? Actually, where do we start? What do you want to
Let's talk
start
about
with?
this DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers friendship we have here.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you mind doing me a favor? I noticed, I don't know, this is kind of crazy, but there's a lot of just big blank space in the middle of the screen. And I'm like, it's almost like
Mmm.
it should be filled with something, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, wow. How crazy is
Holy
that?
crap. Yeah. Oh my god. Is there like
Can
an
we,
image I should put in the middle? No way. No way.
dude, it's always there, man.
Dude, I gotta shave.
You know it. Yeah, looking patchy, dude.
Hey, I'm not patchy. How do I
And
look?
you just got you're five. Yeah, it's like not even 5 o'clock shadow. It's just a shadow.
Yeah.
There's no 5 o'clock in that. There's just
Dude,
you just
it kind of sucks having your facial hair grow so fast. Like,
yeah. I usually have to shave every like 2 days.
yeah, I shaved like freaking 2 days ago. Here I am.
Yeah, dude. That's how we. You don't have to shave as much. You can grow a beard.
Oh yeah, we remember the beard era. The beard, I don't know, the beard just made me look like a goofball.
No, you're like a dwarf, dude. Like one of them strong dwarves, the big bush. You need to get like a huge beard. You get huge beard.
That's true.
And
Braided
then
up.
the cool thing, there was a old video I saw where this dad, I think it was like, I don't know, his dad or boyfriend, but he was shaving his beard, and then he did like all these different styles in a day. You could go for like a whole week with a new different style of facial hair if you grow out a full beard,
God damn.
and you could change it around all the time. Like it makes sense.
Hmm. That's,
Hmm.
that's interesting. Interesting stuff.
I don't know, man. Just an idea. It's just an idea.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna eventually just hire somebody to shave my beard while I'm asleep.
That's so. I feel like you wouldn't be able to sleep very well.
I would adjust, I think.
You would adjust to the person just shaving your beard while you sleep?
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
I
Because I
don't.
hate taking the time to shave, man.
What do
Like,
you mean?
like,
What
how long does it take you to shave? Because for me, it typically takes, because, like, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. It takes me, like, 20 minutes, man.
20 minutes? You're taking way too long to be shaving. It should be like a 5 minute procedure.
You know, like, I always, I look, and then I'm like, oh, man, I missed this spot, right? You know?
Yeah, but like,
Are you using an electric razor or a regular razor?
just use a regular razor.
Yeah, I use a regular one, too.
Yeah, and I don't understand. It's taking you 20 minutes. That's what I don't understand. That's a long time to be shaved. Like if you have a lot of hair, maybe that's I don't know.
Maybe
I guess
maybe it's more like 10 or 15. I don't know.
okay. That still feels long. Like I don't know. I take like more time has to usually happen for the water to heat up than for me to actually shave my
It
face.
takes longer for the water to heat up than for you to shave. That's gotta be cap.
I'm quick like that. I don't know. Like I don't know. I always have cold water running anyway, so like I very rarely need the hot water for anything. Mostly like shaving, and then that's it. And then I'm good. I'm set. I just shave. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll say what?
Ugh. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's
You
just
stretching there? You stretching there, big guy?
yeah, big stretch, big stretch. Um,
Um, So Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. Yeah, yeah. That's what we're talking
Yeah.
about, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
got to get back on track with that. We stay
I
on
was gonna
track.
say something about shaving that I forgot about. I was trying to remember what it was. But yeah, Aaron
There's an
Rodgers and
answer.
DK Metcalf, they've been hanging out. They're best buds.
Sure are.
I
They're
really
best
hope that he goes to the Steelers. He's going to the Steelers.
See, yeah, yeah, you're right. That's gonna happen. And you know what? Are you ready to have your mind blown?
I mean, a week ago, you said you would rather have Mason Rudolph.
That's true. I did say that, and now my mind has changed.
Hmm.
I know. My original thought process was I wanted Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's now a Giant. So here's the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, look, I think he's sort of learned his lesson with the Jets. That's what I think. That's my take. I think at some point, because think about this. You remember, I don't know if you remember what happened to Brett Favre. Brett Favre left the Packers, went to the Jets, kind of didn't work out. Then
Yeah.
he went to the Vikings and had a little bit of a resurgence and was balling. Was balling. He was he was throwing up some amazing passes. He was
It
having
still didn't go that well with the Vikings.
What do you mean? They went to an NFC championship. That's not a bad thing.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, they lost to New Orleans, and that Saints team went on to win the Super Bowl. Listen, man, Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, I think, need each other a little bit. Mike Tomlin cannot figure out offense since Big Ben has left. Aaron Rodgers is a just upgrade to a backup that is Mason Rudolph even though he's 40, in every way.
I don't know.
You think right now Mason Rudolph is better than Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know about better, but here's my thing, man. If one defensive lineman breaks through the offensive line and Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, you're cooked. The play is done with. That's my thing. He is painfully immobile.
Yeah, but it
Blitz
wasn't-
was just like you could blitz last year. You could blitz the Jets with any defense, and the play was just broken if you didn't run it.
Well, that's what it is when you have a bad offensive line. I think Pittsburgh's offensive line, especially in the interior, is much better than the New York Jets.
Okay, yeah, but
That's
Aaron
my
Rodgers
one.
is still. Aaron Rodgers looked like he would lose a race to a turtle last year, man.
I don't know if he loses. Okay, that's a little over. But like, and Mason Rudolph isn't significantly more mobile anyway. It's not like he was known coming as a scrambler when they drafted him out of Oklahoma State.
Definitely not a
Like,
scrambler, but you know.
Plus, when you
Younger.
talk about Aaron Rodgers, I think there's going to be better play drawing called up. I think they're going to go and get probably a running back in the later rounds. They're just going to have a lot more anticipation throws versus what New York was trying to do. Like, I think the one thing one of Aaron Rodgers' strengths was the ability to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Like, he still has potential to have good release off the ball. And when you have guys like George Pickens and DK Metcalf who are strong guys who can get off the jam of most press corners quickly, and you run that sort of passing game, then I think it will be better. Plus, again, the stability in Pittsburgh is miles ahead of New York.
Stability in what sense?
Every sense. They can consistently win
I
games.
felt that coming.
They have no issue. They have no problems with their ownership. They're able to draft generally better. They've been able to be better in just almost every sense than the New York Jets in the last 15 years. That's a stable organization. You can say now you can blame them for the lack of playoff wins. That's a genuine criticism, and it's right. But to say, like, which franchise would you rather be? The one that hasn't made a playoff game in 15 years, or the one that hasn't had a losing season in 15 years? That's, like, to me, a pretty obvious answer in terms of who is more stable within their organization. And
Yeah.
Pittsburgh needs Aaron Rodgers. And Pittsburgh needs Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I think, needs Pittsburgh if he wants to revive his career.
Aaron Rodgers needs Pittsburgh way more than Pittsburgh needs Aaron Rodgers.
Where's
I think,
Pittsburgh's offense going to come next year if they don't pick him up?
dude, Mason Rudolph,
I'm telling
DK,
you right now,
George.
Mason Rudolph has
Did y'all bring in a running back?
no, but we have like Jalen Warren. I assume there's got to be a running back they're going to draft.
I think Jalen
I think
Warren will
no, we
translate
did,
to the
we did,
starting
we
role
did,
pretty well.
we did. It was Philadelphia running back. I think Gainwell. It was like Gainwell, Kent
Oh
Gainwell.
yeah, yeah.
He came in as like a number 2 back. Probably going to be number 3 because I think they're going to draft someone. But again, this idea that, but like ever since Big Ben left, this Steelers offense has been atrocious. It's just been so bad. They can't get running games going. They have to play these close, tight games with their defenses winning, and the fact that their defense isn't even winning more than half these games is a shock to me because it's not like I've watched us. We don't have a lockdown cornerback. We have like some great pass rushers, sure, but a lot of the times our guys are getting beat over the top. They're getting beat underneath. They're not. They're not great. They're not great defensive backs for the most part. Joey Porter Jr. is if you think Sauce Gardner's a holding merchant, bro, you should wait until you see Joey Porter Jr. You should see it. It's abysmal sometimes. It's terrible, and I can't go into next season. You can't go into next season with Mason Rudolph as your starter. You just can't. Like you need to go out and get Aaron Rodgers. The only other option is what? You're going to really trade draft picks to go get Kirk Cousins? You're not doing that. You're just not.
I think you
You're
just
not.
stick with Rudolph, man.
I don't think Rudolph is. We've seen everything there is to see of Mason Rudolph. That's it. There is nothing there that you're gonna get. There's no upside. There is a limit on what you are capable of running offensively. He can, yeah. He'll. The thing is with Mason is this: he'll win you a couple of games. He'll win you like if you need him to play a couple of games, he'll win like half of them. You put him out for there for the whole season, it's just not. It's not going to be good enough, man. And you're in a division with 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league in Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. You can't afford to be bad at the quarterback position. You have to get something that's better. You have to get something.
I understand that competing against 2 elite quarterbacks who can really just move the ball down the field quickly and efficiently and amazingly. I get that. But seriously, after watching how much of a locker room cancer Aaron Rodgers was last year, like, you really want to walk into that? Like, that's... Ugh. Aaron Rodgers, I would rather... I don't know. I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't want on my team more than Aaron Rodgers.
I also think
I'd take Antonio Brown over Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Watch what you say there, dude. I don't know if I'd have Antonio
Yeah,
Brown.
actually, I don't know the full extent of horrible things Antonio Brown's done. So.
Yeah, dude, you don't want the
I'm just
Dubai
a crazy person.
the Dubai ding dong on your team, dude. Like, we all know that story. But I think the difference in this scenario that makes it a little different, and yeah, there is expectation, right? The expectation now, and it's very similar to what Russell Wilson when he signed there. Like when people saw Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, like this is bad. You know, this is like Russell Wilson was terrible in Denver. Like, how are you going to bring him in? And they still won 10 games and went to the playoffs. Now, again, those expectations are going to be higher. Those fans have wanted them to be better. But the reality is, right now, I think you need like a long-term franchise guy. Your answer long-term is obviously not Aaron Rodgers. It's never going to be Russell Wilson. I really doubted it could possibly be Justin Fields. It's going to have to be a guy in the draft. And to be honest, what you've seen out of quarterbacks in the past 10 years is that not all of them are ready to come out and play the part, play the position. They usually get stunted in development. Look at how Jets quarterbacks have turned out. Look at that's a prime example. You look at Justin Fields in Chicago. Look at perhaps Mac Jones's decline in New England. A lot of guys have come in, maybe can play well for a year, but are stunted later. And it's happened a lot. And in quarterback development terms, I wouldn't want to put a rookie quarterback out there and expect him to play week 1 for an organization that does have a lot of pride in playing well and winning games.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree to disagree. Like, hey, Mom! Super tired, but we're running it.
Yeah,
I might be sounding. I know I'm sounding super dry right now.
it's all good, man. Drink some water.
Heck yeah.
Lock in.
I got my chicken tikka masala over rice. My lamb gyro. I actually just drank all my water.
Big water drinker.
Yeah. But what makes Woody Johnson so crazy, Philip White?
Well, before we get to that, I want to say one more thing about the, and remember when I was saying it still is expectation, I think, that I want to touch on one last time. The expectation with Aaron Rodgers going to New York was that they were going to be a playoff game and win a playoff game. Like, that was the overall, if you had to average out people's expectations from the people who completely doubted him to the people that thought they were going to the Super Bowl, I think that was the overall, like, that would be the exact what you'd be looking for. That's the expectation. And the fact that it ended so poorly, now you can even argue plays in someone like Pittsburgh's favor, where they don't even have to pay him nearly as much to come in and play. And now the expectation is always going to be terrible, right? So if you go in and that's what happens, then fine. But if you do better than that, which I think a lot of people every year say, this is finally the year Tomlin doesn't have a lose. Sometimes I wish that were the case, but it's not. And not that I wish that, because I want us to win games. But the reality is, it's going to be better than I think most people would anticipate going in. And also, again, the Steelers are a well-run, oiled machine about not being dysfunctional. They are far from the most dysfunctional franchise. They're not even like really all that close. You can say they've been average, but in terms of being functional, they've done a fantastic job at that.
Well, yeah, they've done a good job in being average, and I think, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers will be average at best for the Steelers. I just don't know how, like just stick with Mason Rudolph as a team that's gone 9-8 at worst for the past what? How many seasons in a row? 7, 8, 9.
I mean, they went 10-7 this year. You know, I think go
9-8 at worst. It's like, why are you going to, like, I think you just let it ride with Mason Rudolph instead of bringing in somebody who you know was a locker room cancer a year ago.
I mean, sure, but that's to also say that I don't. Yeah, he was like bad for like morale, but I don't also believe that 100% of the issues were not on Aaron Rodgers. I think a large percentage of those issues were still on the ownership of Woody Johnson. Like, in fact, you know what? Speaking of that, that's a fantastic transition because you got to hear about what Woody Johnson was saying yesterday during a press conference. I'm gonna say it right now. I gotta double check because I remember I took a screenshot. But he was talking about a couple things. The first one is not as big. I don't think, but I think it is a testament to not understanding what is going on in your organization. They was asked about the NFLPA Players Association like rating scale test.
Yeah.
And what this was basically you are being graded on all the elements of your facility, all these things, whatever. What have you. And the first thing that he said was, I think the test is completely bogus. I think it was completely bogus. Like, I don't, like, basically in saying, like, I don't understand, we got an F, and then just deflected away and said, but we're doing our best to try to create a winning culture and winning organization. The fact that
this
you're
is
not acknowledging
his best. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
the fact that you're acknowledging that you did poorly and then completely dismissing it while also, like, saying, all right, I got an F, it means nothing. Like, that's like me saying if I go in on, like, a test, if I go into a test and I'm like, I didn't study, I didn't do as much studying as I could have, and then I fail the test. And I'm like, well, that's the test's fault. It's the test's fault, dude. How's it my fault?
Yeah, why'd they make the
I
test
didn't do
so
anything
hard?
wrong. What the heck, man? Like, dude, like, I don't know how you're doing that. So that was the first one. The second one, ooh, it got me fuming. Ooh, it got me fuming. And I tell you right
Jeez,
now,
the
I
second
think
one
a
is
lot of
worse because.
I, I think it is.
All right, I'm gonna say my piece about that first one real quick because like
Go ahead, dude, go ahead.
that I hate super rich people. I hate rich people that are old enough to own a football team because how are like this is an old man. He was talking about a football team. Football team. Honestly, yeah, you own the New York Jets. Pretty serious. Whatever. People are stressed out about things that are probably more important than the success of a football team. You should be able to admit as a 60, 70 something year old man that you screwed up. Yeah, we say we need to do better. If you rank dead last in the NFL and just say, oh, we're doing our best. Like,
we're giving it our best shot. We're giving it our best shot. But that also, like, there was the Browns owner came out and took credit, or took, rather not credit, took the blame for the whole Deshaun Watson contract. Like, he's like, yeah, that was not a good idea. We need to course correct. We're gonna do our best to figure this out. But he was basically taking the blame for it, which is crazy. Which is also is an idea I want to do for at some point. I want to rank all of, like, instead of redrafting a draft, just ranking the players who went in the first round and then how valuable they were to their team when they were drafted. Because I'll tell you right now, people will not like my take on how much I think Deshaun Watson means to the Houston Texans. I think in terms of value, S tier. S tier value. He was listen. Hold on. It was first of all, he played well for 4 years, so it wasn't like he was bad as a quarterback in Houston. He was a good quarterback and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Secondly, they got the Cleveland Browns 2022, 2023, and 2024 first round picks. And considering what Deshaun Watson has done in Cleveland for Houston, that's an absolute haul. That's a haul and a half. That's a haul and 3/4. That's 2 hauls. That's absurd. In terms of value to the team, in terms of that being a draft pick, oh my gosh, S tier. Absolute S tier. Because you got good quarterback play of him when he was there, and when he was gone, boom, you get to just rebuild your whole franchise. They're back in the playoffs. They have CJ Stroud.
That is pretty insane. That they were like, that's a hell of a flip from the Texans. And then, coincidentally, the poor freaking Browns have to deal with a version of Deshaun Watson that nobody had ever seen before. That was so bad.
Like, they were dealing with the Kenny, and now it's Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson who wins the quarterback battle.
Man, there's some crazy quarterback rooms between the Giants, the Browns, and you could argue the Jets.
Dude, the Titans too. Will Levis, and they just signed Tim Boyle.
Oh my God! Yeah, those are 4 absolutely disgusting quarterback rooms. And honestly, the Steelers can't get much better.
Yeah, sure they can, dude. They just gotta add Aaron Rodgers and draft Jalen Miller. Then all of a sudden,
you could argue that they get worse when they bring in Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I know my mother and I will agree on that. The Steelers get worse when Aaron Rodgers gets there.
Like, look, dude, I don't think so. I think they'll stay about the same. Because that's what they've been. They've stayed about the same for the past 4 years. It could have been Russell Wilson. It could have been Mason Rudolph. It was Duck Hodges for a little bit, and it was basically the same team. Like,
Jay just said. Sorry, Jay just said pre-happy ending Watson. He was a good quarterback. It was like he played with pent-up anger. Post-happy ending Watson, it was like he had no juice left. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, he ran out of gas.
Yeah, man.
He ran out of. All right.
He just pooped.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the second thing. There was another second thing about Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
Because now this. So I'm going to pull up. This is an exact quote. This is from Antoine V. Staley over on Twitter when reporting about Jets Woody Johnson. This is what he had to say. Remember, they signed Justin Fields. So they bring in Justin Fields this offseason. This is what he says. Mm-hmm. I think Justin Fields is going to be a total winner for us. I've been impressed with him since his college days. This is the last sentence. It was he or Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's going to be really good. Now, do you remember what quarterback they did take in that draft? That was not Trevor Lawrence or
Sam
Justin
Darnold,
Fields.
right?
No, it was Zach Wilson.
Oh, Zach
They
Wilson.
had the number 2 overall pick, and Woody Johnson comes out, admits, yeah, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. Those are probably the 2 guys that we like the most. And you know what they did? Trevor Lawrence goes 1, who they already had won meaningless games to not even get. And now they're like, yeah, dude, number 2's got to be Justin Fields. No, you draft Zach Wilson. What kind of bogus is that? What kind of
that's
ridiculous
weird.
is that?
I
Like
mean,
if I go to
what
a
was
supermarket,
Justin Fields' draft stock? Was he like a late first round guy? Because maybe that could be a justification, or did he go like 3 or 4?
Nope. Zach Wilson shot up the board because of the one crazy throw he makes in training camp.
Did I say Zach
Or not
Wilson?
in training camp.
I meant Justin Fields.
Yeah, I know, no. But I'm referring to Zach Wilson. Like, you draft Zach Wilson because of some crazy, ridiculous, dumb, like, it was like a workout thing where he had a crazy throw and he shot up draft boards because of that. But if
Amazing throw.
Yeah, great, fantastic, no pressure, easy.
No pads.
But like, why? Thick. But why is it to me that if that was your, but like, this is the thing. These teams rank these quarterbacks differently. Like, some of them have certain quarterbacks that they like more due to their metrics or what they said in the like or for their Wonderlic test, or how they worked out, how they talked with them.
Was the
a lot of
Wonderlic test that one that C.J. Stroud did horribly on?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it's like it doesn't. That's how different teams evaluate their quarterbacks. If that was the truth, and you had Justin Fields as your second best quarterback on the board, there is no reason to be drafting Zach Wilson in that scenario, because you don't have Zach Wilson as your second best quarterback. You have him as your third or lower.
Yeah.
So something is wrong.
I don't think Justin Fields was really their guy coming into that draft. I think Woody Johnson was just lying because he's a goofball.
It's ridiculous. It was like, imagine going to the supermarket and being like, you know what? Well, I want either, I want to go out and get either Frosted Flakes or Lucky Charms. And then you go to the supermarket and then you're like, oh man, they're all out of Frosted Flakes. I guess I'll settle for Raisin Bran. I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Just take the Lucky Charms if that's what you wanted. Oh man, they didn't have my favorite, so I guess I'll have to go for not my second favorite. Like,
yeah, or like you it's like you're lying to impress somebody, like,
oh yeah, Justin
like
Fields
somebody
loves that guy.
like some girl you like says that she really likes this thing, and then somebody's like, oh yeah, I love that thing. In Woody Johnson's case, that thing is Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, dude, the Bachelorette. Yeah, that was like the second on my board. Like, yeah, totally. That's my second favorite show.
I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, man.
Ah, my God, it's just like what are we doing? Like, why even bother with that comment at that point? Like, you're trying to just forget
I
Zach
don't get
Wilson
that
exists?
I want to make a political comparison, but I'm not.
No,
he's a big winner. No. He's a big winner, folks. Like, why are you lying, Woody Johnson? Come on.
I don't know, but I thought that was insane. I was like, are you kidding? Like, then why didn't you take him? You could have taken him. You could have had Justin Fields on your roster 4 years ago. Instead, it was like, yeah, he's our guy now. I knew he was going to be our guy. I planned this.
For real, I mean, honestly, I'm happy that we got Fields now instead of during the draft, because now he's been weathered. He's matured. He's layered his. I don't know. He's more experienced. He's more experienced.
He's super experienced.
Yeah, I mean, do you see how smart he was playing during his time with the Steelers?
I don't know about smart.
He looked pretty good. He was making mature throws.
You know who he looked like a little bit?
Who?
Mason Rudolph.
No, he did not.
Actually, I even take that back. I think Mason Rudolph actually threw the ball deep more than Justin Fields did.
Yeah, because shut.
On average.
Justin Fields definitely threw
crazy.
the ball deep, man. And
Like
he
do it like
looked
no, like
good. He was able to scramble
twice.
around, which Mason Rudolph can't do. Um, I'm excited. What is it? Year 5 for Justin Fields?
Yeah, I think yeah,
4?
it's gonna be year 5. But I mean, like, it's not like he's been unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's been incredible as a quarterback. Like, he's still in like the what 19th, 20th best quarterback in the league.
I don't know. I gotta watch him
Yeah,
play.
like I don't think he consistently connected on deep ball passes. Like, I don't think he did it enough to justify me like having him as quarterback long term. I think Pittsburgh did cheap out on him a little. Like, they probably could have kept him, but I don't know. It's like, listen, I don't think he's an answer long term. That's my thing. I
I
don't think
think
he'll.
he very well could be. I've got to see. One thing I'm very excited for. I'm very excited for. It can feel gimmicky, but Justin Fields' number one wide receiver in college was none other than Garrett Wilson. So I'm looking forward to that connection. I'm drawing a blank right now. I talked to strangers for like 2 hours at the thing that I had to go to, and it kind of like drained me a little bit.
A little
The
exhausted.
I know did the Jets brought in a wide receiver or two. I forgot who. Like Alan
Some.
Lazard is no longer the wide receiver two for the Jets.
Well, they don't have Devontae Adams. That
No,
is
I wish we
that is
traded
true.
him, man. We could have
Yeah,
gotten
no.
something for him.
You brought in Tyler Johnson and Josh Reynolds.
I remember hearing great things about Josh Reynolds.
Well, yeah, I like Josh Reynolds. Tyler Johnson's okay. They're
Tyler
both fine.
Johnson, I thought he was an NBA player.
Maybe he is.
They're
Probably is. I mean,
probably
it's not like Tyler
pretty
Johnson's a pretty
common name.
generic name. I've
Who
never heard
was?
of this guy before. Tyler Johnson.
Dang!
What?
Congrats, Tyler Johnson, switching sports from the NBA to the NFL. Dang! But
Dang,
what
dude.
team was Tyler Johnson on? Because I've never heard of that guy.
Probably Chargers.
Probably the Chargers.
If I
That
had to
makes
put
sense.
money on it, I'd probably put the Chargers.
Dude, I'm
Seems
so
like
excited for
seems like a
football to be
Charger
back
receiver.
already. Super Bowl was like, 2 months ago to the day, actually. Or maybe 2 months and 2 days ago.
Something like that, yeah.
But man, I miss Lad McConkey. Lad McConkey.
Oh no,
Oi.
he was. Oh, wow, he wasn't a Charger. Oh my gosh, he was a lot of things. He was a Buck, a Texan, a Raider, and a Ram, and then finally a Jet.
Oh, wow. I can't believe he's played on all of those teams, and I've never heard the announcer say Tyler Johnson with the grab.
He's only caught 76 of them.
Jesus Christ. I thought
The
I,
Jets stud wide receiver.
I I thought that if you catch that few passes within however many teams that was, we don't even know if he spent 1 year each on them. I thought if you get 76 catches over the course of 5 years, you're not in the NFL anymore.
No, dude, maybe he's a great special teams player. You can use any help where you can get, man.
Oh, speaking of great special teams players, I'm very excited for Xavier Gipson as well, entering year 3.
Uh,
I'm a big Xavier Gipson guy.
Big Xavier Gibson guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there was a play in particular that really made Jets fans happy about Xavier Gibson.
Well, all right. That 2 years ago when the Hard Knocks thing was going on, his story is awesome. Undrafted guy, basically. It's not like something crazy unique, but like I don't know. He's just a guy that went undrafted, worked his ass off, and now he plays a lot of snaps for the New York Jets. I like that. But yeah, he
I
also
like
ran back the kick against the Bills
the
2 years
Bills.
ago.
Dude, yeah, that season had so much optimism and excitedness.
Yeah, maybe it's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. It's Aaron Rodgers'
Maybe what?
Achilles' fault.
Yeah, exactly. See, now that it's restored, he's ready to come to Pittsburgh, put past like 30 something
No,
touchdowns.
it was restored because
Probably.
the bad thing about that is when his Achilles was torn, it did something to his brain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it turned him
Is
into a
that what it did?
maniac.
I don't think so. I think
hmm
we have great hospitals in Pittsburgh. We'll figure something out.
They have state of the art hospitals in New York, man.
Well, yeah, but the Jets play in New Jersey. They don't have
And
state
New
of the art
Jersey. Well, they
hospitals in
come on,
Jersey.
Aaron Rodgers. He can.
What do they have in New Jersey?
Yeah, just factories. I drove through it the
They
other
got
day.
they got a whole smog line. It was the New Jersey smog that got to Aaron.
Yo, Jay. Oh crap. Yo, Jay. Do you live in Jersey? Do you live in Jersey, Jay?
Why yes? You live in Jersey, Jay? Like I don't know, dude.
I feel like he told us he lives in Jersey.
Look,
But
man. I personally got to be honest. There ain't much in Jersey. I don't think. I don't know what's in Jersey personally. You know what is in Jersey? Some of my cousins. But outside of that, I go there. I'm like, dang, you guys found like the one good spot, you know? Like every time I go there, it's like, oh, they got a nice house. I don't remember the name of the place, but it's like, oh, it's a nice house, it's a nice area. It's like a cul-de-sac neighborhood.
yeah, I
And I was
will
like,
say. Wait, what were you gonna say?
no, I was kind of done.
Oh, okay. I never left the highway when I drove through New Jersey. Like, and the highway kind of like went through a little town. Actually, no, I stopped for gas, so I went off the highway. And New Jersey is it's such a strange place, man. Like, like the gas station I stopped at, it was like an intersection. Um, it was like an intersection. Wow. The like you
Oh
had
wow, an intersection.
yeah. But like it was so weird. Like you have. And use this as a map. You have like a gas station right here, a rundown smoke shop right here, a McLaren dealership right here, and then like a diner that's been closed forever right here.
Dude,
Like, what?
that's the Fantastic Four right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I can't. Oh yeah, and you can't pump your own fuel. When I stopped for gas, I'd only heard about that, and I remembered that somebody had told me about it when I got out of my car and I was like walking, like I turned around to the pump, and a man just like spawned in. He was not there when I drove my car in there.
He's just,
Um,
my gosh, that's crazy.
yeah,
A
and
little bit of a
what's so strange about New Jersey is just like I don't know, like they had like luxury car dealerships like once every mile, but like how the place looked did not reflect an area that would have luxury car dealerships.
look, man. Wherever they're needed, I guess. That's great. That is interesting. I don't know. Well, I guess it's a dealership. I mean, I don't. You get the land where you get it at. Because I think
Well,
the
you can
reason why is
choose.
yeah, but the thing is with most dealerships is if there's the thing if you open a dealership, you can't open a dealership a certain amount away or like close to another dealership because I don't know, laws or something.
hmm
They made a law like that. You can't open a dealership in another dealer's territory without like crazy loophole binding or whatever. And so then it's just impossible to open up. So where people are is just where those dealerships are. Because if they
Really?
close it, that's my understanding. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen a new dealership. Like I've never seen a new dealership for the most part. I usually see like a renovated dealership or something, but I never see like a brand spanking new one.
That's true. That's an interesting point. I've never seen a dealership like pop up. Like, for example, in Oneida slash Wompsville, you have Nye Auto, and it's like that big grand place, and it's just been there since we were like little.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's
And
run.
then there's the
What were you gonna say?
you know, run through the comments real quick. I gotta grab a water and I'll be right back.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna grab a water too. 30-second timeout, gangsters.
All right, I have returned, and I win the race. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's so hot in my room today. It's crazy hot. I don't know what to do. Jay,
All right.
driving. Delaware is the worst state to drive through. Then Jersey is strong too. You'll see a Hooters next to a Jaguar dealership, next to a Denny's, next to a Lexus dealership.
Yeah.
Like it's
For
like tic
real.
tac toe. It's like tic tac toe, but instead of O's and X's, it's luxury car dealerships and like
We really need
rundown
gas
diners.
stations. Actually, gas stations is cheating because there's just
Well,
too many
yeah,
gas stations.
you would 100% get three in a row.
Yeah. Jay, how about what's up with the interstate? Driving on the interstate when you're in New Jersey is insane. I mean, like driving itself isn't bad, but I was just like bewildered. I felt like I was driving through a a a factory state. Like literally just on my left and on my right for miles. It was like factories and storage facilities and it smelled bad. I was like, where do people live in New Jersey?
He drove through the Wally world, like when they all have all the trash built up around all the city. That's what it is, except it's just more smoke. There's
Yeah.
parts of New York like that too. Like I've driven to down to Long Island, and there are sections of it where it's not like as long as that, but there'll be like large sections where it's just like a giant factory billowing smoke, and that it's like that over there is where they. I don't know. I was trying to think of a product that they might make, but honestly, I don't know what product you would make where there's that much smoke just dished out everywhere.
Mm, yeah. And another thing that's kind of wild. I mean, New Jersey must not be that bad to live in because like I don't know, when I would meet people in Charlotte and when I meet people in Philly, when I ask them where they're from, New Jersey is one of the most common answers.
Yeah, but
Maybe
that's why they're not in Jersey anymore.
that's true.
That's
That's
the part
true.
you
A
miss.
lot of New
They're not. You
Jerseyites.
have to know where they're from. They're not there.
They're not in
Being the
New
most
Jersey.
common state, that's the answer.
Yeah.
They all left.
Indeed. Fix New Jersey. Make
make
make New
make
Jersey
New
great again.
Jersey great again.
Manja.
Oh my gosh.
Jay
Okay, so it's
says
a lot of factories, warehouse, one shop. Right, there's one. There's one massive shopping area.
you're going to encounter the slow driver, the fast driver in a Ford, and the douche in a sports car, weaving in and out of lanes. Wow. Yeah, you're exactly right. I saw all three of those. A lot of slow drivers. Slow drivers were the most common. I was trying to.
I want to take in the view, dude. I
Yeah,
want to take in the
the
view.
beautiful sight.
Exactly. It looks so good.
Yeah,
Come on.
I
How
was
can
pulling
you
up
not
next
like
to the slow drivers, like, hey, this your first rodeo, kid? I was like,
get out of the lane?
but yeah,
Get
like
out of here.
I was surprised at the amount of slow drivers there were in New Jersey. I would expect them to be super fast and like
Nice.
beeping at you for going too slow.
Yeah, I have like ha ha ha, I have light again.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha
Ha ha
ha
ha.
ha. I gotta add that song to my library. It's a good one.
Ha ha ha. It was all right, I'm gonna steer us back on to sports real quick.
Yeah, let's do
How
it.
about that? How do you feel about our March Madness Final Four teams? We have Houston, led by who was it? Who was the guy? I don't remember the guy I picked already. Oh my god, how do I not remember? LJ, I think it was LJ Cryer, dude. LJ Cryer and Houston. We got, of course, Cooper Flag and Duke. They'll be squaring off, and then we've got Walter Clayton Jr., who's been on an incredible run for Florida, and Johnny Broome for the Auburn trees. I don't know. We'll call them
The
trees.
Auburn trees.
The first thing that came to my mind. I don't know. I forgot. It's Auburn Tigers. It's Auburn Tigers.
Auburn
Tigers,
tags.
Bengals. Whatever.
And
My
it's
bad.
also Janai Broom.
Janai Broom. Okay. We knew
Basic
who I was talking
grammar.
about.
Come
We knew
on.
who I was talking about. Janai Broom. Fine. Jeez. Sorry. If we know who I... My apologies. By that logic, my name is...
spell it.
Yeah, by that logic, my name is Philip. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Nobody calls me that, though. That's not my name.
Mm.
That's not my name, George. That's your real...
It's actually Taff.
That is your birth name, sir. If my name's gonna get doxxed, your name's getting doxxed.
It's also Georgi. It's Georgi.
Oh, it's Georgi. My bad.
Yeah.
I got you that time. All right, I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah.
Georgi.
You better
No problem.
get emotional.
I'll never forget.
But the oh yeah, March Madness. Not a whole lot of madness going on.
Not a whole lot of madness. It's
Like,
March kind of normalness.
Yeah, this was a tournament of March normalness. I just not a single seed below 12 won a game. I feel like, Jay, shout out to your 99% bracket, but I just feel like if you got a 99% bracket when the final four is all 4 number 1 seeds, that just means like that's.
I mean, I do
that's
have
the
a
scared bracket.
99% bracket. I do have a 99% bracket. In all fairness.
Yeah, like, and it was probably one where you picked the higher seed in almost every game.
No. So on ESPN, they allow you to do like different things if you want to quickly fill out a bracket. So I did like the completely random one. There was this is the People's Choice. There's an option called People's Choice. You get to pick every single, like, whichever matchup you pick, the matchup that most people pick popular, and that's the one that's at 99%. Like that is legit a true thing. Like that is actually legit. I called it the every ESPN analyst bracket. That's what I called it.
Typically, the ESPN analyst brackets do terrible. Because
Most of them did have like number 1 picks. Like one of them, I think one of the celebrity ones is doing really well. Like I mean, okay, well they're actually, mine's actually better than all of them. I'm better than all of them, dude. I'm better than, man. I'm cooking
ESPN
these
analysts.
fools. I'm cooking these fools,
God
dude.
damn.
I'm at 99.9%. I'm 99%, and you know what? I didn't even need to fill it out. I just clicked the button that says the People's Choice. That's crazy.
That was my thing about March Madness this year, though, because never before in my life has the People's Choice bracket done well. It's been this insane March Madness it's always this insane, improbable thing. I don't know. Hopefully next year's tournament can compensate for this one. Still my favorite tournament in sports, but it's just a little underwhelming when literally the 4 number 1 seeds.
Underwhelming. I disagree on that. It's
Definitely.
underwhelming. Okay. It's not. You can't tell me that the tournament's been bad though. Like I think it's been good games.
I mean, yeah, there's been good games. Here's the thing though. I think that freaking, 13, 14, 15 seeded Oakland from a year ago, Jack Golke banging like 11 threes and being the most unconscious person from 3 that I've ever seen in a basketball game to beat Kentucky by, say, 9, and then they get to go on and face DJ Burns, and DJ Burns goes on to beat Duke, whoever else they beat. I don't know. They made it to the Final Four. I find that stuff, like the best game from this year's tournament for me was Maryland and Colorado State. A 10 and a 4.
Great game.
A team won at the buzzer. 12, yeah. But like,
12.
Or yeah, 12 and a 4.
UConn, Florida was good. Like Texas, it was what? Texas Tech had to come back to win against Arkansas, and then Texas Tech blew a lead to Florida in the next round.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
That Florida comeback was insane.
there were good games, and I disagree in the fact that you need a bunch of Cinderella stories to make March Madness fun, entertaining to watch. And
It wasn't.
also,
It was like it was still entertaining. It just I didn't get what I wanted out of it.
you know what? And you know what it is? You got spoiled with all of the Cinderellas from the last 5 years. Because
From
there were a
every
lot.
year
No, 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 no,
for the
no.
last like
There were a
23
lot.
years.
No, 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 no. In the last 5 years, there was a bunch. A bunch of low seeds were winning. Like you're talking 2021, there was St. Peter's in 2022, and then there was Princeton went to the Sweet 16, and then there was one other one. Like in three consecutive years, a 15 seed went on to win their first round game, and then
Is
went
that
on to win their
true?
second round game.
A
Yeah,
15 seed went to the Sweet 16 for the past 3 years, not
well, not
including this one.
2024. 2024 missed out on, but I mean, we're looking at. Hold on. Let me go to the 2021 NCAA because I was looking at this earlier and I was like, dude, like and then also 16 seed had never beaten a 1 seed. We got it back to back years, so it was like it was pretty overall crazy. Let me look at 2021 because 2021's was oh yeah, dude, it was Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts went on to beat Ohio State and Florida and then lose by 2 to number 3 seeded Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Right. But again, but even in that one, like you still had a 1 seed versus a 1 seed in that tournament. It was Baylor versus Gonzaga.
Well, yeah, but was the final four all one seeds?
You had a 1, a 1, a 2, and then UCLA is an 11.
Yeah. See,
Remember when the Zaga and that Zaga game was good. I agree. But to say that like and then it happened again in 2022 and again in 2023. So the reason why I think there was like a bunch of stuff basically this year where a lot of people were crapping all over the NIL and not saying it was ruining college basketball. That's an over exaggeration. College basketball was still great this year, and it would just happen to be 1 year where we didn't have many upsets. But in the past, like 16s were beaten once. That had never happened before ever, and everybody was freaking out about it.
Yeah,
It's not like you can expect that to happen all the time. Same
I
thing with
don't.
15 seeds.
Yeah, I don't think NIL is capable of impacting college basketball the way it's impacted college football, because I don't know, football is a more, if it makes sense, objective game. Like, I don't know, it's a much more like in football you're relying on raw physical power more. And in basketball, whether or not your shots are going in can be more sporadic than that.
Yeah.
My
I
mom
think
says the transfer portal has killed college basketball. I hate it. It definitely. I won't say it's killed it. I do wish that they kept it so there's a gap year. So you have to take a gap year to join that team, because I feel like we were talking about the other day, like it teaches kids loyalty and to not make a brash decision over a moment of intense emotion. Like, for example, Mississippi State's starting center, Nwoko, right after the tournament loss, announced that he was transferring. And it's like, dude, grow up. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Dude,
we lost a game.
grow up.
We have 3 4-star recruits coming in next year. Lock in. Come on. It's like the Mississippi State has one of the Jans, our coach Chris Jans is a program developer. We're on the come up. But yeah, like teams, the players transfer way too much in college basketball today.
I agree. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's ultimately going to kill it because, and I mean, the prime example. Look at when St. John's had to face off against Arkansas. If R.J. Lewis doesn't have a trash game, St. John's easily wins that game. And just the fact is, these are, I think, especially when you look at it as college kids, they're not. They have other priorities too outside of just basketball. Like most of them, like not all. No, like what? Like you always say, like what 1%, 2% of these guys are actually going to be playing in the NBA or playing in a professional league, right, for like extensive period of time. So they need to have backup plans. So they're focusing on school stuff too. And when you talk about guys who they'll have off nights, like guys who have other stuff to focus on, that's why St. John's went down. And I think this is just an anomaly of that year of the year. I don't think it's something that's going to stay set in stone.
Yeah.
I think
Mom also says define kill. Like you said, you're just not gonna kill the game of college basketball.
it's not gonna it's not gonna snipe it down to a point where people are not gonna be invested emotionally and there are not gonna be good teams and Cinderella runs happening. I think 100% that they're going to be Cinderella teams next year. Like I think guaranteed 100%. In fact, I'd argue next year is going to be probably the biggest one because I think the in general when one thing kind of happens and it's normally meant to be average, it usually flips back the other way. It's just how been how sports worked for a lot. It's just, to me that's what I've seen in sports watching it for 10 years. I don't think it's going to snipe down the ability to win an NCAA tournament or go on a deep run. And I mean, besides, the majority of the teams that end up winning the national championship do end up being strong schools to begin with, and that was before NIL. Like UConn or Duke or like Kentucky, like those were the teams you'd see in those like stages before NIL. I
That's
don't think it's gonna.
that's true. This is to continue our conversation from a week ago. Um, I also like my thing when I look back at tournaments, I oftentimes cannot tell you who
You can't
won the
tell.
national championship, but I can tell you like about Jack Golke of Oakland hitting 11 threes. I find the first day of March Madness more exciting than I do the national championship.
Oh, I agree with that
Yeah.
because you're watching. Like, I think the other thing too is there's so much of it going on. You got like all the really. You have a bunch of different games happening, and it's so easy to just because. And the other thing too is because there's so many games. If one game's a dud, you just switch to the other one.
Yeah.
You just switch to a different game. It's like, oh dang, the 14's getting blown out. Like the 6 and 11's really close. Let's watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It makes it so much more entertaining because there's so much going on that there's basically always going to be something entertaining. And the later you get in the rounds, it's less likely where you're going to get a closer game, especially when the competition becomes tougher and the disparity between different teams. Because when you get an upset happening, you'll see, and we talked about this a little bit, like when you have like let's say a one goes all against like a Cinderella story, 10 seed, it's more likely that the one is just more well equipped to handle that 10 seed. And especially like look at Houston. Houston and even the disparity between one and twos is interesting to me. Because Houston and like for example, Houston played Purdue, that game was super tight. That game was
Mm-hmm.
super close. Versus when they played Tennessee the next week, oh my gosh, they blew them out. Every team in especially college ball is very different. A lot of them are big on the defensive side. A lot of them have big dudes like Arizona. Some of them have play a lot more small ball, right? And
Mm-hmm.
some guys, like for example, against Wisconsin, when Wisconsin lost to BYU, one of the reasons they lost was because they were getting into foul trouble. So it was very difficult. Like guys they were very conscious about not trying to foul there, and they only have so many big men. Like if a big man fouls out late in the game and you don't have that many big guys and you're traditionally a smaller roster, that becomes very different and difficult to play. So I think there is gonna. I imagine one thing I think they will change for the college ball. I've heard people talk about this, changing it to quarters instead of halves, and then letting fouls like reset.
No.
Really?
That will ruin the game of basketball more than the transfer portal, I think. Keep it 20
Maybe
minute
I'm saying
halves.
wrong.
And
Maybe I'm.
resetting fouls at the end of every quarter, that's going to turn it into the
I don't know if
NBA.
it was every. I don't know if it was every quarter. It was something. It was something along those lines. But
Oh, dude, did
that's,
you hear?
that's how
Did you?
women's works. That's how women's basketball works right
Yeah,
now.
that's how women's. Wait, they reset the fouls though.
They do no. They don't reset like it's not like the players don't have fouls anymore. It's that they reset to like the bonus fouls, like the total fouls to get into the bonus. That's what they reset.
Oh.
No, your players still have their fouls, but it's the total team fouls of getting into the bonus. I think that they talk about changing.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't really thought about that.
So that way, like,
No,
you don't have.
I think they should still keep it two halves for the sake of pacing.
I mean, yeah, but I think most of the time halves fly by anyway. I don't think it changes the pacing too much. I mean, because
Well, yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna have the same
The
intermission
goal
break.
is for it to fly
Quarters.
by. I think you because the when there's halves, players are incentivized not to foul. Foul trouble in college at the college level, I believe, is it's really a strategic area of the game, you know, as opposed to the NBA where it's kind of just something that happens. Um, and I don't know, like if your guy gets two fouls within the first 10 minutes of the game, this totally changes the like dimensions of the game. And
Yeah, it still does. But like that's not the thing that changes.
well, yeah, it's
I
not
don't
the
think
thing
that
that
changes.
changes. Yeah, I realize that that's not the thing that changes while I was saying that. But basically, like, I think that there would be, I guess, bottom line, I think there would be more fouls if they were to, if they were to have the bonus be by quarter, if they changed it to quarters and had the bonus be by quarter. I think there would be more fouls. And
Do you
I,
think there'd be more? You think they would foul more? I disagree. I don't think. I think it'd be about the same, if maybe a little less.
why
Because I
less?
don't. Because I think ultimately there's less, especially because the way the last like 2 minutes of each quarter works would change drastically versus like the last 2 minutes of a half or anything like that. And I also think I still think like getting into foul trouble still like matters in that regard. Because if again, like I was saying, if you have a couple big men don't who do get into foul trouble early, like let's say again your guy gets fouled in the first like 2 fouls in the first 10 minutes, all of a sudden you can't play him as much and you might need him later, right? It just to me, I think it would be fine. I don't think it. I think it because again, like women's again, like I said, the women's does that, and it's still good. Like it's still good basketball. Granted, it's not men's basketball, which is not as like popular, but I think it wouldn't destroy it. Like it wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be that big of an issue. I think it would change the way you have to play, but I don't think it would change the spirit of how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, I don't know. I want it to stay the same because, like, I mean, let's think like if they turned it into quarters, I think we wouldn't even see. It would be so rare to see a 1-1 at that point because I feel like when I start seeing 1-1s in college basketball games, it's when there's about 9 minutes left in the half. If they switched it to 10-minute quarters, I don't know. I like the strategic aspect of it being halves and how fouls tie into that.
I they still, but then they stop being one. Like I don't think the 1-1 changes that much. I don't know. I just don't think the fouling changes that much significantly to where I think they would just maybe develop a different
It
strategy.
definitely changes a lot because let's say, I mean, like you get I don't know, an offensive foul, and like, uh, dude, I'm so tired. I'd be able to word this better if I was 100%. But like, we've all seen it before. Like, let's say it's a close game. Your team enters the bonus.
Hmm.
You take a charge. I'm pretty sure that's free throws. Like,
Wait, your team enters the bonus and you take a charge and you get free throws?
yeah. It's just stuff like that. It is a huge boost being able to get free throws whenever there's a foul instead of just shooting. That is a
Well,
massive thing.
then just change. You could just then decrease. Then in that case, I would just decrease the amount of fouls you get per quarter. Like it would still go down.
You could do that, yeah.
Like you instead of making it be 10, then you could just decrease the number of fouls.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of halves. Bottom line,
I
I'm a big
just I
half
don't.
guy.
Yeah, you're a big half guy, but I think it would still be this. It would still be the same. Like I don't think they'd change it significantly to where that wouldn't change. But the fact that it's the only real sport that doesn't really use quarters. And I think a lot of the time, especially when you're talking about getting into, I think situationally, I think it'll allow for more teams to be competitive in games. That's what I think. Because a lot of the time, like especially because like again, a lot of college basketball teams are built very differently. I think it levels the playing field where you it doesn't create one type of team where you have to constantly try to feel the need to create. Like a lot of teams that could in theory win games or at least be competitive in games, I think it narrows the gap a little bit,
Yeah.
which I think is fine. And I think that's better for it. I don't know.
Good
The other
point.
thing that I had to say,
Yeah, yeah.
and this is more. Remember when we were arguing about Cinderella's? I actually now have a new argument to make about it.
Okay, let's hear it.
The name Cinderella is objectively not the best name for it.
Okay.
Or not
Well,
subjectively. I don't think I would call. And let me tell you why. Let me explain my reasoning as to why I think Cinderella is a bad name.
let's hear it.
We call them Cinderella stories, and the reasoning behind this is, when I think Cinderella, I think of the
The
the princess,
princess.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, the princess that was not supposed to go to the ball, but goes to the ball and ends up meeting the nice handsome man. But now that we all know the story of Cinderella, and if you go back and you watch that movie, like from what I'm trying to remember the movie, I haven't watched it in a bit, but I vaguely remember the details, right? I
Yeah.
watched that movie, dude. Nobody wanted nobody wants those stepsisters to win, and B, at least the movie would make more sense if the stepsisters were also attractive and just jerks. Because the reality is, I feel like the idea of the underdog doesn't work in the context of Cinderella when it is very clear that Cinderella is the most attractive woman in that movie.
I'd have to see a picture of the stepsisters.
By far. No, everything I remember about the stepsisters, they were grody, grimy, dirty. I don't know. They looked like they didn't belong. They had I remember vaguely that their necks were drawn weirdly. I don't think the evil stepsisters look attractive, dude.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
she's
remember.
goofy looking, man. This is
Yeah,
Cinderella's competition.
that's the representation. Like if they were beautiful, that would make more sense. To me, that's why I think we need to stop calling them Cinderellas. And you know what we should call them? We
What?
should call them Shreks. We should call them Shreks. Because I'll tell you right now,
Shreks.
when Shrek first came out, people were not sure. Do they like Shrek? Are they gonna?
Yeah,
Are
I
they
mean,
gonna?
that
They gonna
famous
like this
scene
guy?
where he walks out and he's like, "This is the part when you run." Like nobody was a fan of this guy initially.
Yeah. And now he's beloved. Everybody loves Shrek. Everybody loves Jack Golke. Everybody loves DJ Bird. Everybody loves Doug Eater. Everyone loves these guys, but they didn't know who they were at the time. They didn't think it was even possible that they could even do it. And you know
I
what?
mean,
Shrek
they
gets the
popped
girl.
out of the swamp.
And you know who? And you know what? Lord Farquaad perfectly represents blue bloods. All of the like Duke, like Yukon, like Gonzaga, like those big mean schools that just get pampered and treated well and are the top seeds. Farquaad represents all of that. And then you know what the best part is? You know who Shrek is led by? Shrek is led by his endearing companion donkey, who could be Doug Eater, who could be DJ Burns, who could be Jack Golke. It's it lines up so much better than the traditional Cinderella story now. It is the modern story and Shrek. We gotta start calling these teams Shreks.
I rock with that.
That's my case.
That's
That's my case for calling them Shreks.
That's a big fact. I 100% agree with that. We've got some comments to run through.
Yeah, go ahead, run through them.
Jay says, I feel like the transfer portal is cool, but make it so the reason of transfer becomes public. I want to see Jamal Warren, team Wisconsin. Reason for transfer, this team sucks. That reminds me of this quote. I sent you the clip of it. It was a Virginia Tech guy, I think. and it was like they had clearly missed the tournament, and it was like an end of season interview, and he was like, honestly, we did better than I thought. I mean, we were still ass, but oh, that's great. Yeah, we need more stuff like that. Mom says, did the NFL change the overtime rules today?
They did. They did
Oh,
change the
I
overtime
did not
rules.
hear about
Now they changed it to the regular season. So now both teams will get a possession in overtime in the regular season, even if the first team scores a touchdown.
this. Okay,
That is
heck yeah.
changed. So now, it's not just it should be interesting. I know because I don't know. I guess that makes sense why they changed it, but this is another interesting thing about the rule changes. They voted on the tush push. They took a vote on the tush push. And it was no, it's not banned, but in terms of the division, it was a dead even split. Half the league said it's fine, the other half said I don't like it.
Oh my god.
I was shocked. I didn't think it would be that many.
Like, I'll say this, me acting like an Eagles fan is a bit. I'm gonna get there eventually.
Yeah.
But I'll say the tush push is fine, man. Like, that's it. If you can't stop it, like, figure out how to stop it. I don't know.
I think it's fine, but there was something that I saw. I mean, I want to. Maybe Bill Burr said it. I'm not sure, but I know a comedian talked about it where they talked about the tush push and they just said it'll get banned if Philadelphia chooses to run it every play and wins the game. Because in theory, they get like 2, maybe 3 yards on each time they run it. Like they don't. This isn't like a quarterback sneak where they just need like inches. They get like a full yard almost, like 85 to 90% of the time.
Yeah.
If they keep doing that against any team and do it the whole time, it'll be we're banning this play. I think they're talking about injury.
It doesn't
that's what
always work though. Like
the success rate of it is so absurd. Like anytime it's like basically when you get to the goal line, it just touchdown. Like you don't need to call anything else. Like there's no reason for the Eagles to try to throw a slant or to run it up the middle with Saquon. I mean they can, but like do they have to? They don't even have to. They can just I think it especially got strong once Saquon got there and did what he did this year. Like it got absurd. It got crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it can get banned, and I wouldn't ban it either. It's just the only way it could possibly like get banned is if my guess is if it got banned, I think there would be debate if in a close game Philadelphia's on the goal line, they run it 3 times in a row, they fail, but they get it on the 4th one.
That would be very annoying.
People would be upset about it.
I think Philly is slightly honorable with the use of the tush push. Like, I mean, at the game I was at, I think it was the game against the Rams. They tried, like, they were at the Rams 1, and they did the tush push. It didn't work, and then they ran another play, and they got a touchdown that way. If they were kind of scummy with it, if they did it like 4 downs in a row, then it would be kind of like, all right,
dude, come on, man, little James Harden free throw, kind of like that's how I'd start feeling about it.
Exactly, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
the free throw merchant. You ain't a fan of Shai?
Nope.
But you don't like Jokic either. Like who do you like? You like no NBA?
I my beef with Jokic, we've squashed the beef. He DM'd me on Instagram.
Yeah, he
was like,
Taff, you guys...
I'm sorry.
Taff, you should come ride horse sometime.
Yeah. And yeah, we're going to ride horses this summer.
Awesome. I'm excited for y'all. That'll be a good experience for you guys. I'm sure you guys will.
You could say it's a Shrek story. Nobody saw this coming.
No, I would have never expected the Jokic beef to be squashed. Now next you got to squash the beef with Embiid.
I will never squash the beef with Embiid.
Come on.
He's a jerk. He's a jerk.
No, what?
I wish him good
What?
health.
What?
I wish him good health because I heard that a doctor might force him to retire.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
But Joel Embiid is a jerk and a baby.
Oh, wow, you call them a jerk and a baby?
Baby
Oof.
jerk. But the jerk
Well,
ain't no.
crazy. Hey,
But the
Joel, you wanna
but the
come in
jerk
here?
ain't baby sized.
Oh my gosh, baby size jerk, or jerk size baby?
His jerkness is like a behemoth. But he's a
He's
little
got
whiny baby.
Godzilla level jerkiness. He's got that Godzilla level jerkiness, dude. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's roll through some more of these comments. Jay says offensive fouls don't count towards the bonus.
They don't?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I
Good
guess so.
to know. Uh, Jay also says they are a low-seeded underdog team that unexpectedly makes a deep run in the tournament, often exceeding expectations and knocking out higher-ranked teams, mirroring the rags to riches story. Who are we talking about in that message?
I think Cinderella.
Oh,
But
like
I
Cinderella
think
stories in
I think
general.
I think Shrek just works better. Shrek lives in a swamp, dude. And in fact, the thing is, I think Cinderella teams sometimes they don't even know what they want. They don't even they thought they were satisfied living in a swamp. That's what Shrek thought. And you know what? They have their run. They went out and got the girl, and then they come back to the swamp. They don't always go on that Cinderella run a second time. In fact, they may never go on that
They
Cinderella.
typically don't.
Yeah,
But
but they had their one
here's
run.
one
What do they
hole
do?
in your argument, Philip White. Aren't they coming out with like Shrek 5 soon?
Yeah, but like this is why we're not calling them Shrek 2s. We're calling them Shrek. And I mean to be fair for talking Cinderella, Cinderella had sequels too. They just weren't good enough to not be just direct to DVD sequels, which they were. Cinderella actually there are 3 Cinderella movies.
Jeez.
2 of them are direct to DVD sequels.
That's
Nobody wanted to see Cinderella
crazy.
2 or Cinderella
I'm
3.
gonna start.
Shrek lives in a swamp, so Shrek lives in Jersey.
Shrek lives in a swamp, so Shrek lives in Jersey. Wild.
Dude, you know what? Shrek's a home though. I don't know. He'll find a nice plot of land, I'm sure.
Ah,
We'll have actually I wouldn't host Shrek at my house. I wouldn't have him for like too long. He'd
theory.
eat all the food. Like,
Oh, Jesus. Not you,
theory or
Siri.
Siri? That's what I thought you said. I was like, why are you asking Siri?
Nah. I have a theory. I don't know. Ever since I started carrying water around with me all the time, generally thirstier.
Well, yeah. Almost all water, I feel like, is meant to make you a little bit thirstier. Like Dasani, dude. Dasani water makes you thirsty. Dasani. I don't know how. I know a couple people who love Dasani water. Say it's king. I don't know how, dude. That Dasani water is meant for you to drink just more water. That's all it's meant for.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, Big Water's plotting. I'm not a big Dasani guy either. I like Aquafina. Or the pH water. You know, they claim to do something to the pH. I forget what it's called, but it's like the red and black label, and it's like rectangular.
A beatbox?
No.
Dude, I don't know. That's not water.
My classmate Dante was drinking that brand of water today. It's kind of shaped like a Fiji water bottle, but the label is like black and red, and they did something to the pH of it.
Oh, Prime. That's what you're thinking of.
No, Prime is circular.
It's like close. I know it's circular, but if it's anything close, it is like a little bit boxy. Hold on.
It's just
What did you call it?
Like
What is
pH
the
balanced water.
pH balanced water. Let's see. Let's see here. Body armor.
No. I gotta look this up. I gotta figure this out.
Is it Essentia?
Yeah.
Okay. Essentia.
Yeah,
Interesting.
good old Essentia.
Right, right. Good old Essentia. Classic and reliable.
Yep, Dante's a big fan.
All right. All right. Oh, Essentia. Maybe I will try it. I'll totally try it.
Yeah.
April Fools. I'm not gonna try.
Oh, what
Oh
the
man, we have been streaming for 85 minutes. If you're in the chat, can you do us a favor? Do us a favor and smash that like button and
Boom,
smash
boom,
that
boom,
subscribe button and turn on
boom,
notifications. Let us know when
boom,
you're sharing.
boom. Wow, time flew by. We're already at an hour and 25 minutes. We haven't
Oh,
even
dude.
talked about Invincible yet.
Oh yeah. So Taff, you know what? I'll let him tell it because that's what he was doing. I'll let him share his story.
So yeah, the TV show called Invincible, a banger. It's kind of part of that. Like I've noticed, there's like a trend in TV shows right now is superheroes, but the superheroes are bad and like nuanced, kind of in a way.
Hmm.
Like with the boys, of course. Like they're, I don't know. There's more to them. They dive into the mental aspect of being a superhero with the power and the responsibility that comes with that. Um, I watched the first season of Invincible like 3 years ago. Um, and it was before the second or third season was out, and I was watching it with my friend, and when we finished the first season I was like, damn, that was really good, when's the next season coming out? And he was like a year and a half from now, and I was like, oh dang, that sucks. And didn't watch season 2 or 3, but I picked it back up last night, took it from the very top, watched the first 3 episodes. Pretty sick. I don't know why Omni-Man killed the Guardians of the Globe, gotta figure that out. um,
Oh my
and
god.
my one thing with it so far, honestly, like I love the writing. I love like the dialogue and whatever, and the art's really good. One thing I really like, not really hope, but one thing I would like for them to get away from, as I know it's like a superhero show, but like less fighting. The fights kind of bore me.
What?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know, man. I think some of the fights are the best part. The animation, especially in season one, is awesome. It got a little downgraded in season three because they wanted to get it out quickly, but they saved a lot of the animation budget for the big fights. It's like, oh, that's it, man. That's what it is, man.
Nah,
That's what it is.
I like the dialogue. I like there was one part that there was one like fight scene that got me fired up. It was like, oh, my favorite character also might be Robot. Is that his name? Robot?
Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, okay, yeah. Robot might be my favorite character.
Oh, all right,
Through
okay.
three
I can have
episodes.
to see that. Yeah, yeah, through 3 episodes. There's a lot. Well, I guess because I personally watched all of it, so or all that's been released anyway. It's for me. I don't know. I think the show is it's so well done. I think a lot of the animation, especially in the earlier seasons, is great. I love J.K. Simmons as Omni Man. He is just
Yeah.
one of the perfect voice for it. Dude, like they've got I don't know. I just think I do agree with you that the dialogue is incredible. Like it does break down a lot of those moments, and those happen a lot throughout all the seasons. But man, dude, the fighting is some of the best part, especially with some of the fighting and the dialogue. The combination of the two. Sometimes one just doesn't work without the other.
That's true. You do need a balance to make both of them not get boring. Um,
Exactly.
There was one fight scene where like there was like a slight like there was like a conversation between Eve and Mark, and then like Mark like swept into the battlefield as like some music kicked in. That was sick. Got me fired up. Um but honestly, like really good so far, but there were a lot of moments last night when I was watching the first 3 episodes of the show where I was like, "Damn, I still need to watch The Boys." And like when Omni Man was killing the Guardians of the Globe, I was like, "Oh, just this is just like Homelander." Like,
Oh my gosh, this is so him.
yeah,
It
Homelander would
was
totally do this. So I gotta finish The Boys too.
Yeah, there's the thing.
The next season isn't coming out till 2026, right?
Yeah, probably not till next year. But there's like a little like there's like an off spin-off that kind of runs alongside of it called like a Gen V. It's like college kids essentially, and there's like a big thing. I don't know. There's something alongside that's going on as well, so there's that to watch.
Yeah.
The thing is, I love watching shows. I love watching shows with my friends. There is one thing that sometimes you do every time we try to watch an episode of The Boys. When we're watching, like you are. There's like this. I think this is like a thing. There's a lot of people in relationships too. When they go out and they're like watching a movie, they gotta ask a question every like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And with them, it's like normally like they watch and they answer. You know what you do? You take the remote, you pause. So hold on. And then the episode that is already an hour long becomes like an hour and 20 minutes. So if you want to watch 3 episodes of this with Taff, it's gonna take you about 4 hours.
Well, like that's specifically The Boys though, because like it's so in depth, and I wanna understand every little nook and cranny of it. Like,
yeah, I get that.
It's kind of like it's kind of like if I hear a line and like I'm digesting that line, and then they say another line of their monologue or whatever, and I'm like, damn, it happens to me when I'm listening to rap songs all the time. Like I hear one line and I'm like, oh, and they're still talking while I'm thinking about that. So I gotta rewind.
Pause, go back. But I like, dude.
I'm a serial rewinder.
Though, about another thing about those questions, about 45% of those questions, you ask a question, and I'm like, that gets answered later. Like that's the thing. I can't answer that question, or you're not gonna like that's the point. Like they'll do something and be like, it's like if you asked, why did Omni-Man kill all those people, and then I gave you the answer.
Yeah.
Like I just say, yeah, this is why, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, dude, you gotta watch the show. I need you to just watch. The show will answer those questions. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that's true. I feel like part of the reason I was asking so many questions though might have been because I don't know, I'd had like 8 beers.
What?
Over the summer, it's like 2 a.m. I'm like, why is he doing this? Tell me. Like,
why is he? Oh my gosh. What's going on? What's his? You know what? That's better though than the other questions that you'll get sometimes, because I know people do this. Like there are people out there who watch shows and they'll be like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "He's this guy." And it's like, "Okay, what does he do?" "Oh, he does this." And then like 5 minutes later, they'll be like, "What's his name again?" And that's like the oh my gosh, where did it go?
The super
where did
L.
it go in your brain? Where did it go in your brain where you're just like, who's that again? It's like I just said who he was. Like,
yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
another 20 minutes go by. Who's that again? Man. And I can understand it in some shows. Like I get it in Game of Thrones because a lot of characters like kind of look similar. But in a show where it's like superheroes, it's very clear. It's very clear that the way they're dressed is very different. Like, come on, put a name to a color. Put a name to a color.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I'll say like in Game of Thrones, I know you say like a lot of the people look similar, but like. I mean, you can just...
I mean, not main characters. Like, obviously, no one's going to confuse Jon Snow with Tyrion or Daenerys. But I feel like there's, like, oh, shoot, an old white guy with a beard. There's, like, 3 of those. There's, like, 3 or 4 of those.
That's true. Like, I remember when I first started watching the show, I would get Tyrion and Tywin mixed up. But I would just be like, you know, the shorter guy. And, like... And yeah, I don't know, but I do totally feel you. Like there was somebody I was trying to introduce The Boys to a couple months ago, And oh my god, I don't know. It was just really frustrating.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, I don't know. People just gotta lock it on the lore, I guess. I don't think I could give you a prime example, but like,
No, I know what you're talking about though.
yeah.
I think I do. I think I get it where it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Bruh. That's all
Um,
you got.
for real. Or like, I don't know, like I'll be no, this is what would be happening. Yeah. The oh cool, basically. Cuz like something in The Boys would happen and I'd be like, "Oh, this is an allegory for what's happening in America right now because this and this and this." And
And
then
then they just
then she'd
go,
just be like, "Yeah."
mhm.
Like,
Dude, I do that thing where like sometimes you'll say something, I'm just being like a sarcastic jackass, and you'll say something like, "Dude, I did this thing today," and I'll just go, "Mm-hmm,
uh-huh.
mm-hmm,
Uh-huh.
uh-huh, yeah." And then what? And then what happened?
Wow.
Oh wow.
uh, Jay
Well,
says, you just described my mother and my wife with, who's that? What does he do? Is he good or bad? Why did he kill that girl? What are we watching again?
oh my gosh, dude, we gotta watch some shows, dude. I really want. Like, dude, there
Indeed.
was.
I
I got.
really have to. Like, I wish the fifth season of The Boys was coming out sooner. Because, man, I like.
Time to
We
catch up.
there is a whole lot of time to catch up. I gotta be so like I've watched through the first two seasons and like the first few episodes of season three, and I've got to get back on it. I don't even know why I stopped. I didn't even get bored of it. I don't know. But yeah, we gotta have some good TV show conversations on here. Oh yeah, Jay. What are some good show recommendations other than Paul American? Maybe we'll watch an episode of
Oh,
Paul
we'll
American.
watch
And
an episode of Paul American. I gotta see. Other than Paul American. My favorite. What's your favorite show? Oh, it's Paul American.
oh,
Like it
the
is.
reality TV show that follows Logan and Jake Paul around.
There's a new Netflix show, Running Point. Jay has suggested that new Netflix show, Running Point, was
Running
pretty good.
Point.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a
Hmm.
list. I'm gonna make a list.
Heck yeah, good
Like,
idea.
I think I may have already had one. I just don't remember where it is. It's like somewhere in here. I have a feeling. Woo, woo.
Whoa. But all right, are we wrapping up from here? What's the dealio, Emilio?
I hold on. Let me do this. I think we did pretty good today. We're looking at what 100 minutes.
Uh huh.
That's just a little over an hour and a half. I think we did pretty good today. I need to pee really badly
Heck
because I've only
yeah.
been drinking water for the past hour and 40 minutes, and it better be coming out crystal clear.
I'm gonna drink some more water so I can stay hydrated.
That
Before
was a
we
good
go,
Yeah, what's up?
previews. What's coming up next?
Oh
Big
yeah.
news for prime time with Taff and Phil. This Saturday, we've got Temple linebacker Reggie Jones coming on. Gonna be
Yeah,
chopping it up with him.
Gonna be doing some shopping it up.
And Tuesday, or it's still in the works.
I think we're still in the works on that. We might have to push it back a little bit. We are looking to run back a sequel with D&E as well. That's in the works. We don't have an official date, but we're excited to do that. Run that back with them because they are a blast. I love hanging
Indeed.
out.
We are very excited for part two of having D&E on. Generally going to be getting a whole lot more guests on soon. Very excited about it.
Oh yeah, big time excitement. So that was episode 23 of Primetime with Taff and Phil.
Or 22,
We're gonna begin.
actually.
I said 23, 22. Oh, well, this was 22. We'll see you for episode 23. That'll be this Saturday. Tune in at what? We're thinking 6:30.
Yeah. Between 6
6:30.
and 6:30. 6:15, we'll call
Keeping
it.
the Yeah, between 6 and 6:30. That is p.m. by the way, not a.m. Just to make it clear there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be around that time. So be sure to be checking your phones, check key of your notifications on, and that's all I have to say. If Taffy got any parting words for our audience,
Follow your dreams, listen to your heart, embrace the full extent of your emotions.
and Cinderellas are now Shreks.
Indeed.
I'm
Thank
bringing
you for
that. I'm bringing
watching.
that. Thank you for watching. I got first.
Bye! Bye! Have a good night! Oh, wait. Jay says, wait, weren't there talks about Temple losing the football program? Jesus, I hope not. If there were talks about that, they fell through because we just brought in a new coach named Casey Keeler, and he won it's his first job at the FBS level, but he won. So here's his resume, his coaching resume at least. He was the quarterback coach for Joe Flacco, and he what? Yo, there's a cat on Phil. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it. Look at Philip White's camera. Um, that just backed up. It decided it was scared. Um, yeah. So Casey Keeler, the new Temple head football coach, his resume is he was the quarterback coach for Joe Flacco. He had 5 FCS national championship appearances with Delaware. I don't know how many of those he won. He won FCS national championship with a school called Rowan, and he just won last season. He won an FCS national championship with Sam Houston and secured them a promotion to the FBS. And then he was offered the job at Temple. So I've got high hopes. Got high hopes for Temple.
Big expectations.
I won't say. I mean, I won't expect him to walk in and turn water into wine. But I mean, you look at this guy's resume, and he's got a lot of people that are fans of him. And they've all said everywhere this guy has gone, he has improved the culture and the quality of football being played. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And no promises, but I do want to try and get him on.
That would actually be sick. I would love to. I would love to chop it up, talk about Joe Flacco a little bit.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone calls, you got Broadway Joe or Joe Cool. That's what they call Joe Namath and Joe Montana. That's my Joe Cool. Joe Flacco's my Joe Cool.
Joe Flacco's your Joe Cool.
100%.
He played for the Ravens though. You're a Joe Flacco guy.
Doesn't matter. Those are the peak Steelers Ravens. I can listen. The Steelers Ravens rivalry wouldn't be. You can't talk about it without talking about Joe Flacco. So,
that's true.
He's like family. He's like family to me. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like the cousin that you used to argue with all the time.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. It was like an older brother. You got you had your fights. Now we're best bros.
Exactly. Well, yeah, a preseason interview with Casey Keeler would be so sick. Philadelphia native too, by the way. So I feel like he's going to be locked in. He's going to be doing it for the city.
I do it for my city. I do it for my hood.
I do it for my hood.
I do it for my hood.
I do it for the streets. I do it for my dog. I do it for my cat. I do it for my fish.
That's my hood.
I do it for my hood.
I do it for my hood.
That's I Do It For My Hood by Pink Guy for you. I'll drop it in chat in case you...
Yeah. That'll be the song of the day next time.
Yeah.
Right? That'll be the next time song of the day.
Also, I Got a Man by Positive K. Banger. Absolute heater. The beat on that is legendary. But alright, I'm gonna skedad and enter my full-on relaxation portion of my day. And we will see you on
Me too.
Saturday.
Alrighty.
All right.
Peace.